Hello everybody, welcome to a special new Ringside Radio predictions video. We're going to start doing these the night before, or around the night before the pay-per-views, where we just kind of sit on this futon and list off what we think is going to happen for the big pay-per-views. So this Sunday we got Elimination Chamber coming up. It's a pretty stacked card. We actually know pretty much all the matches, so pretty excited. So without further ado, here's our predictions for the Elimination Chamber. So our pre-show, we've got the Brotherhood, Cody Rhodes, and Goldust taking on the team of Ryback and Curtis Axel, or Rybaxel as they call themselves. So, what do you think, Katrina, for this pre-show match? Who do you think's walking out the winners?
Well, I think we're looking at, recently former tag team champions versus a tag team that, I don't know, maybe some others disagree, but I think they're kind of a cluster.
Yeah.
And I don't see where they even work that well together. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's just not what I see. It's not a tag team I can get into at all. So I think Rhodes and Goldust, Cody Rhodes and Goldust, are gonna pick up the win.
True. What do you think, Schlappy?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with everything she said. I mean, they
Thank you!
Yeah, you guys are on the same page
For once.
and we got it on film.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
It's just, Ryback and Curtis actually, they just don't really seem to work together. They just got thrown together after they broke up with Heyman.
Yeah.
So
I agree with you guys. Rhodes definitely, because what have Ryback and Curtis Axel even done in the past months? Where the Rhodes, like you said, former tag team champions, they're on a decline, but still, I don't see any way they're not going to win.
Yeah,
basically. It could be an entertaining match. I mean, Goldust and Cody in there, so it should be good. But so we're all on the same page there. But then it'll be the real show. We've got Titus ONeil versus Darren Young, former tag team partners, former friends, now going to duke it out at Elimination Chamber. So, Schlappy, call it.
I think Titus ONeil will probably win, and then it'll move on to WrestleMania maybe, and then Darren Young will get the win.
No. Katrina?
I agree, actually. I think Titus O'Neill's going to get the win, but I think that, to me, it looks like they're really building them up pretty equally. They're not making one look substantially better than the other. But right now, I got to give the advantage to Titus O'Neill because he's got a great heel thing going on.
Yeah.
I think he's very, very entertaining, and I think the first win is going to go to Titus O'Neill. So that's my prediction.
Yeah, I got to agree on that, mainly because Titus just seems to... I think it's going to be a prolonged rivalry, and the heel will get the victory first, and it could go on. I could see it going all the way till Extreme Rules or so.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So, but yeah, you're right. They both have been looking good, and I think Titus is going to get the win on Sunday. But I'm excited that this is on the card because it's a good rivalry.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good match that actually has a story behind it. That's just not put this person and this person together. And
Yep.
So then we've got, apparently, I saw it on Facebook. It might not happen, but if it does, we'll just cover it. Apparently, AJ Lee is going to defend the Divas title against Cameron. I guess I will say I think AJ is going to retain the title, but I see this as a substitute for what would have been AJ versus Naomi. And I think AJ would have retained anyways, but I think they're just using Naomi's momentum, putting it on Cameron, and doing the match. So I'm going with AJ, my girl.
Yeah, I agree. I don't see it being anybody but AJ. And I think you're right as far as the thing with Naomi. And it's kind of sad she's out on injury because I think she's the far better of the two. But I agree. Either way, I think it would have been AJ, and I definitely think AJ is going over.
Yeah, I agree. AJ's going to win. I don't see any reason why Cameron would win. And I think I speak for all of us. I think we would all rather see Naomi versus AJ.
Yeah.
But
it's a shame she had that eye injury. That's got to be no fun. But hopefully we'll get to see that match at some point because Naomi's talented, very impressive, and she was really getting built up.
Yeah,
so I think she has a good future and stuff. So going with AJ on that one across the board. Yeah. Now, the tag team titles on the line. Current champions, the New Age Outlaws, defending against the hottest tag team now, the Usos.
Emphasis on hottest.
Okay. Yes, they're
Sorry.
sexy. No. Katrina,
Gonna let that one go.
what are you thinking? Tag team titles.
Gosh. I'm really not sure. My mom and I actually talked about this. She thinks the titles are going on the Usos. And as much as I want to say that's right, I think the Outlaws may hold on to them just a little bit longer. But I'm going to go ahead and go against the flow and say the Usos are taking the titles. Now, like I said, I'm pretty split on this, but I'm just going to go with my wishful thinking. And I'm going to hope for the Usos to win, and I'm going to go ahead and make that my prediction. Nothing against the Outlaws, but I don't see them having a hugely long title reign, as they're both in the twilight of their careers. It's great to have them back. It's great to see them as tag team champions again. Yeah, but I'm gonna go with the Usos.
I'm gonna disagree with you on that one. I'm gonna go with the New Age Outlaws, but I think they're only going to do that so that way the Usos can have a big win at WrestleMania.
Yep.
But
yeah, and I pretty much agree. I'm just saying the Usos because that's what I want.
Yeah.
That's what I really want.
I would like to see the Usos win too, but I think they're just New Age Outlaws are going to go over now, and then Usos are going to go over at Mania. But.
Well, looks like it's on me to pick a side.
The deal
This is our
breaker.
first one that we're different, so I'm actually going to go with the Usos.
Yeah.
I want them to, but after just thinking about it, it does seem like, the WrestleMania win would be awesome and stuff, but think about the last time the tag team titles were even defended at WrestleMania, so it might not even happen. I think they should.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they could just throw us for a loop, and the Usos get the titles on Sunday, because they're definitely deserving of them, and they've definitely got a lot of momentum behind them. So
I'm really excited about that match.
I was thinking the Outlaws, but then I thought, and it's like, you know what? It could happen, because I don't see a lot of title changes at this pay-per-view, but I think the Usos could be one. So I'm going with the Usos. All right. Next up, Intercontinental title being defended on a pay-per-view. Seems like it's been a bit since that, but we've got the current champion, Big E, cut the Langston, just Big E, defending against Jack Swagger. So, Schloppy.
I just want to start with saying Swagger's really starting to impress me the last couple months. Like the Fatal 4-Way match that made him number one contender was
I will agree.
excellent.
But here's my question for you. Did it impress you enough to see him as an Intercontinental Champion, the Intercontinental Champion, the next Intercontinental Champion this Sunday?
I actually think Swagger will go over, but I think it's only because they're going to use that to help split Cesaro and him, and then they're going
Good
to
point.
feud for the title at WrestleMania. And so.
I'm actually going to go Big E. After thought on this, because I was thinking Swagger too, but then I thought, outside of just story purposes, because that's not always their reasoning behind things, this could be a stupid thing, but they just changed
Probably
Big E's
is.
name.
Right.
It just seems like, I feel like they still want to build something out of him. Although a Swagger Cesaro thing over the Intercontinental would be phenomenal. I think Big E will retain. I think it'll be one of those good matches, because I will admit Swagger was very impressive as of lately, especially getting that number one contendership. I just kind of see this as just another match for Big E under his belt. I would not be disappointed if Swagger won, but I'm going to go Big E Langston. I mean, Big E.
Oh no, we're gonna have to edit that out now. Gosh.
Katrina, where do you stand?
I am gonna go with Big E. I think that the fans have really gotten behind him. I really feel like I believe in him more than I ever have, and I actually enjoy him on commentary. I have to say, I know that's completely random, but I do, and so I think he's all around just a good performer and somebody that people can get behind, and I think they're gonna ride that out a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And this is strictly opinion, but Swagger's not a guy to me that I can get behind. I've tried. I'm not saying he's terrible at what he does, but I don't know. So, but again, my fact and opinion actually kind of match up here. So I feel that Big E is going to kind of keep the title a little bit longer. I think as Grim, as you said, they're going to, keep building towards something there. Now, I do see Swagger eventually getting the Intercontinental Championship or, some championship down the road. Mm-hmm. But I'm going to go with Big E.
So then we move on to our, I guess what I'd call our trio of main events, I guess, the ones that are the big matches. So we'll start off with the Animal Batista in his first singles match back on pay-per-view against Alberto Del Rio. So this has been a feud that's been built up since before the Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. They're finally having their match. And, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say we're probably all going to guess the same thing here. But I'll just start. I don't see any way that Alberto Del Rio can win this match. Batista, we know, is going to main event WrestleMania. That will not change. So there's no way that his match back is going to be a loss. Here's the thing I'm more interested to see is how, one, he performs. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he'll be fine, but also how the fans react to them.
Yes.
Because this is something where it's not about everyone knows he's going to win, which is fine. He needs to. He should. Mm-hmm. But I think this is more of not a battle against Alberto Del Rio. It's a battle against gaining the fans back after the Royal Rumbles thing, which wasn't his fault. It was just it wasn't Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, he didn't have the matter any.
But so yeah, I think if he has a good showing and the match could be awesome, and that will do good things for him. So I think he's really fighting against the crowd. But yeah, Batista, just in case, you guys want to say who you think's winning this one.
I think Del Rio's going to win. I don't know what it is. He's just so awesome, and I just love having him on the roster. Okay, I can't say that with a straight face. No, Batista's going to win. Batista's going to destroy Del Rio.
Batista. He's gonna. I think he's gonna own the match, but I think there might be some points where, he's got to get over in some way, and that's one thing I will give Del Rio is he's good at helping other people get over because he's good at being a heel.
Yeah,
that is basically the only time you'll hear me compliment Del Rio.
True.
I think he's awful. I really do. But yeah, Batista's definitely going over. I would almost run barefoot around the block if he loses, pretty much. So I'm gonna go with Batista.
Yeah, I don't.
I just shook on that, by the way. I just shook his hand that I will do that.
Yeah, I honestly wonder if there's anyone who's really thinking Del Rio's going over this Sunday because besides you, but so Batista.
Yep.
Then we've got one of the most anticipated matches of all time. Could be the greatest 6-man tag team match of all time.
In the whole planet.
The two huge, gigantic teams going at it. We've got The Shield, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Dean Ambrose taking on the Wyatt family, Bray Wyatt, Luke Harper, and Eric Rowan. Wow, I'm so excited. Why don't you start us off, Katrina?
Okay, well, I liked the Whites when they started. I still like them, but I don't like them nearly as much as most people seem to. I appreciate what they're doing. They're very different. It's great that their gimmick has come in, and it's something that I said, how is that going to work on WWE? NXT, I get. It's a very different world. But they've made it work on WWE, and I respect that a lot. I love The Shield. I'm very devastated that, they're on borrowed time now. They're definitely on the decline. And the Whites are on the rise. So what I want to happen and what I know is probably going to happen are completely opposite things. I would like to see a Shield victory, but I know that a Shield loss is only going to further the storyline of them working towards splitting up and going their separate ways. So the Wyatts, I'm almost certain are going over. So I'll say the Wyatts.
Sloppy?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree that Whites are gonna win, which is actually funny because a couple of days ago my uncle texted me and said something about how the Whites are gonna kick the Pansy Shield's butts, and I remember
they're not pansies, okay?
By chance, does your uncle have a large beard?
Yes.
Maybe.
Oh, maybe he's a Wyatt.
I sent him a message back saying, "Well, yeah, they're going to. I want the Wyatts to win just because I want to see that triple threat for the U.S. title at WrestleMania."
You just keep talking. No, I'm just kidding.
So I think this match, the Shield's it's gonna be a really good match either way, but I think the Shield's going to lose because they're gonna start fighting in each other, and that's gonna make them lose the match. So
yeah. Well, gotta agree. It's the Wyatt family. Like you said, they're on the rise. The Shield's on the decline because there's got to be that triple threat somewhere along, or just an implosion. This will be where it finally happens, I think. Something's going to happen. Like actual physical contact between the three, big time. Mm-hmm. The Wyatts are going to take advantage of that and get the win, getting a lot of momentum going into WrestleMania. And I don't think that'll be the last we see of the Wyatts on Sunday. So, going with the Wyatts. Now, it's our big Elimination Chamber for the WWE World Heavyweight title. We got Sheamus, we got Christian, John Cena, Randy Orton, the current champion, Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro. So, Schloppy, give us your predicted winner in this, what could be one of the greatest Elimination Chamber matches of all time, might I add.
I agree. It probably will be the best. Probably the best one I've ever seen, but haven't seen a lot. But anyways, I think Orton will retain in it. I don't see any other way that they're going to do it. So, but I think in it, Cesaro's going to get eliminated. So, and then Swagger's going to win the title, and then that's going to help split them up. And then they might continue a thing with Sheamus and Christian, since they've been kind of fighting back and forth. And Christian's just had a heel turn this week, so it'll be an incredible match though. But I think Orton's going to win.
Katrina, you want to go or you want me to?
I'm fine either way.
Okay, I am going to go out on a limb here. I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan. I don't see it happening, but I know this is a prediction. But at the same time...
So this is like my Usos prediction earlier.
Okay, yeah, but it's one of those things where I'd go Orton. But eventually they're going to have to give in to Daniel Bryan. Mm-hmm. They're going to have to give in. And they might just do it on Sunday. Although it's looking like, very much like, that they're going to do a Daniel Bryan Triple H or Daniel Bryan Kane thing. He could overcome the odds, and I think he might do it. And if it's not Orton and it's not Daniel Bryan, you know who would be pretty epic if they won?
Cesaro.
Mm-hmm.
Because that would just be... He's a main eventer. But I'm going Daniel Bryan. Not expecting it. But I gotta just keep my heart there with my brain. I have to put them together. Daniel Bryan.
All right. Well, I would love to agree with you, but I think it's going to be Orton. I think he's going to keep the title. I think that Cesaro is going to shine, though. I think he's going to look fantastic, like he always does. But I think this is really going to be a defining moment in his career that we'll look back on years from now and go, man, that was it. That was like one of those big... It's going to be a pivotal match in his career, for
this
sure,
is basically where the switch flips from, like, he was here, now he's there, and it's like the star is made, almost like Reigns in the Royal Rumble.
Yep, so that's what I see happening. So I would like, obviously, Bryan to win the title, but I don't see it. I wouldn't see it going on anybody else. If it was not Orton, I think it would be Bryan. Probably not anybody else at this point. But I think Cesaro will look awesome. Definitely. I think Sheamus and Christian will, there'll definitely be some growing tension there. And I think you alluded to earlier something to do with the Wyatts.
Yeah.
And if there's anything with the Wyatts, it's going to be against Cena.
Cena is going to get his somehow distracted, almost Royal Rumble-esque, get a distraction, or they'll find a way to cost him his elimination, is my assumption after the Wyatts already are looking amazing after the six-man tag. And another thing is, where does, as much as we don't want to talk about this guy, where does Lesnar stand in this whole thing? Do you think he's going to play in any role into this match? I mean, he declared himself the number one contender. We haven't seen him
He's such an idiot.
For a while, but he could do something. I don't know who he'd go after other than any of them, but I don't know. It's just something that came to mind. He could play a role in it.
Yeah, I don't see him doing anything with him until after Chamber.
Yeah,
I think he might come back and still say he's the number one contender, but because I mean we all know he's going to be at WrestleMania. There's
sadly,
there's no doubt about it. But
yeah,
I don't think they're going to do anything with that until after Chamber. I mean, I wouldn't really be surprised if he came in and like got someone eliminated or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I'm just throwing it out there. I don't want him to do anything, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I
if
hadn't
something
thought
happens.
about that. That's interesting.
So I'm assuming Kane will be involved.
Yep.
The Wyatts will be involved. and a possibility of Lesnar. I know that's a lot of people for a match that's supposed to keep people out, but I'm just it could happen.
But this is the last pay-per-view that they have to, push things toward WrestleMania.
True.
So it does make sense that there would be, other people involved that aren't part of the match. As long as it doesn't ruin everything about the match.
Yeah.
Then I'm good with it.
Yeah.
But I would honestly rather never see Lesnar exist on the planet ever again.
Yeah.
So that's just my opinion.
And it's a big pay-per-view because
I guess he can exist on the planet. He just shouldn't exist in WWE.
Yeah.
Agree.
That's my thing.
And another reason why it's a big pay-per-view is because it's the last one that's before the network comes
That's
out.
true.
So.
Right.
Yeah. So, Randy Orton and I'm going to represent the false hope of Daniel Bryan.
You know what? Somebody's got to.
So, yeah, those are our predictions for
I
this
agree.
Sunday.
I would love to see Daniel
yeah.
Bryan win, but this is a predictions video. I just don't see it happening.
Well, yeah, but I figured there's got to be something other than Orton.
There's a possibility.
So,
There's like a
Shut up.
2% chance.
those are our predictions. They could be wrong. They could be right. I think they're going to be pretty right. So,
And I want to note that
we
me
will-
and Katrina actually agreed on something
yeah,
for
you
most
guys,
of this
were,
video.
you guys had some agreement
We
there.
agreed a lot.
But we
Doesn't
are going to
happen
put
very
this up
often.
before the pay-per-view. Then we'll get an episode of Ringside out next week about the Chamber and everything. We're super stoked. And, so we'll be doing these before the pay-per-views. But thank you for watching. Give us your predictions if you got the chance before the Chamber's already up. But, yeah, thank you for watching. I am Grim Chorizo.
I'm Sloppy Joe.
And I'm Katrina Cena.
This is Ringside Radio. Thank you and have a good night.
You've been listening to Ringside Radio. Be sure to like and subscribe, and send any of your questions and comments to grimchorizo@gmail.com.